Hey folks, and welcome back to Glenn and Adrian's Rock Talk. That's Adrian.
And that's Glenn.
And today we're going to revisit the Warning on tour in Europe, this time with another curiosity video. And this is one that happened at Firenze Rocks. That's how I think they pronounce the word, Firenze perhaps. Just happened very recently. It was apparently extremely hot. And they were on another one of those big black stages without cover from the sun in the middle of the day in a place that it gets really hot anyway. Shades of the mother of all rock festivals, where they just got burned to a crisp out there. We see Dany actually hiding from the sun for the last 4 songs of the set, as we understand it. And this is one of them. We're going to look at Disciple. And she's just staying out of the way of the sun. There is a lot of speculation about why, maybe there was a problem with the radio transmitter. My personal thought, just from looking at it and from having recently looked at much of the mother of all rock festivals, she's probably just trying to avoid getting burned, and totally fatigued, trying to play in extremely hot weather. So this is Florence, Italy. Friday it's supposed to be 94 degrees, and I guess it was one of those days. The gig happened on June 12th, and this is the first song where she's kind of out of the sun's way. So we're going to take a look at it. And, it just so happens this is one of the very few clips that have come out from the European tour, but we will take a look at this and see what we think about it. All right. Adrian, any thoughts ahead before we take a look at this?
Let's see. It sounds like it was threatening to be the same as the mother of all rock festivals, where they were out in the sun and, Dany's pants melted onto her legs. And...
Yeah. That's my theory.
Yeah.
And from just looking at the comments and seeing the thumbnail of this thing. So, all right, let us take a look and we will give our thoughts afterwards. was an interesting clip. Well,
Yeah, Dany staying in the shade, which is probably a good idea given what we've seen recently with sun and heat and all that. I guess you can't tell exactly what it is that Dany's trying to do by staying in the shade, but we've got a pretty good idea.
yeah, I think we had two very strong clues, actually three. All right. One of them was right, even from the start of the clip, one of the crew members was standing right next to her, but behind her. And then a couple minutes in, another one came out. I think that was a crew member, it was somebody in a black shirt anyway, and he had 2 bottles of water. And he came right up to Dany, almost as if he was going to try to offer her water in the middle of the song, which, okay, if she's in a real emergency, maybe she would have taken it. Generally you don't see that unless there's something going on. So I'd say those are pretty strong indicators. And then the third one was I saw the drum tech. He came running out to Pow's drum riser and was kind of crouching back there and looked like he also had a tall bottle of water that he was delivering there. So yeah, I would say that that's very likely what the issue was the heat and just, taking precautions. Remember, it wasn't long before this show that they were freezing their butts off in Germany, and Sweden, The Germany show was the 8th, right? Yep, Rock am Ring was the 8th. So this is 4 days later. So that's a huge swing, going from really rather chilly, like early 60s in Fahrenheit up to, and wind. And then here you are at like 95 degrees with the sun beating down on you. So, okay, so here's a pet peeve I have. You saw the size of that stage. You saw they were playing early. Okay. The sun is beating right down on the performers. Now, if you got a stage that size, you've also got a roof, all right? So there's a reason stages have roofs. It's to cover the performers. So if you're not covering the performers, well, maybe in the planning stage of the festival, you could be thinking about which direction to build the stage. Granted, there are other things that you might consider, like where the parking lot is, etc. But ultimately, the way to do it is to know what the sun's path is during a day. All right, in whatever location you're in, and then build the stage so you don't have the sun blasting down on your performers at any part of the set. All right, you actually have somebody figure out where the sun's going to be, and then you angle the stage wherever in the space where you're going to have the concert so that the sun doesn't come right down on your performers. I mean, it's pretty basic. I understand logistically you can't always do that, but then you know what you do. You put a smaller stage there if you can, and you put the bigger stage somewhere else if you possibly can. Logistically, this is the way to do it as far as I'm concerned, because you don't want people passing out on stage. You don't just say, well, too bad, don't shaft the performers. Those are my thoughts. I don't think that there's any excuse whatsoever for that scenario to be happening. It can be avoided with a little planning. That's all it takes. So if you're ever part of the planning for a festival, please keep these words in mind and maybe give them some consideration. We don't want our performers melting on stage. So those are my thoughts. I mean, I think they did a great job with the song. The original clip really had pretty bad audio. I did my best to rescue it because we have so few clips anyway from this tour. Just an interesting case study. There was another show also where the same guitar that conked out in Hollywood, Florida, conked out again right at the end of Escapism. I don't think we're going to bother looking at that because we've already seen kind of what happens in those situations. But apparently it happened in the outro, so Dany had to improvise the outro a little bit. If you'd really like us to take a look at that, let us know in the comments below. Maybe we'll go ahead and take a look at it. And they keep doing shows. 17th, they're in Frankfurt. 18th, they're in Luxembourg. 20th, they're at Hellfest in France. And then the 21st in Belgium, and then the 22nd in the Netherlands for Pink Pop. So, and I think that closes it out. But I mean, that's 5 more shows. So definitely looking forward to it. And they just did one in the Czech Republic. Again, hopefully Pau didn't have any mashed potatoes. And hopefully something will drop from that soon. Sometimes it takes a week for clips to show up from fan cams and whatever else. But if you see anything worthwhile, please let us know. And give your thoughts on this clip and maybe your theories. And any other suggestions, leave those below as well. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And if you enjoyed the presentation, please subscribe. All right. Thanks so much for joining us on this, and we will catch you on the next one. All right. Take care, folks.
See you all later.